Well, hello, and welcome to Tara Marie Live. I'm fitness expert and personal trainer, Tara Marie Segundo, and today's show is one that will answer a lot of the questions that I actually am often asked by clients, most specifically about protein. How much protein do we really need every day? What role does protein play in our body and in our health? And also, is all protein created equal? Now, as somebody myself that engages in very heavy weight training with the specific intent of building muscle, I know that protein helps me develop and then maintain my physique. But I also know that too much of a good thing can be bad, so I have to create a balance just to get enough, but not too much. Now, to help us sort through the maze of available information, today is Stephen Hoyer. He's a naturopath and nutritional consultant with 22 years of full-time practice under his belt. Stephen started his search for better health at the age of 16 when mercury-based dental fillings made him so sick that he ended up studying nutrition in an attempt to heal his own body from chronic constipation, chronic yeast, and depression. Stephen actually focuses on detoxification as a primary means of returning to health, and then today he's going to talk about one of nature's most powerful foods that supports the body's ability to naturally detoxify, and it so happens that it is a protein. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you, Tara Marie. Well, excellent introduction.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you. I've had you on for little 8-minute segments here and there where we could fit you. When I discovered this, I don't want to jump ahead because I want to talk about the foundation of the subject before we jump into the product that I want to talk about today. But I just want to say in full disclosure, the way I found out about this was you contacted me and you sent me some samples, and I said to you, I don't really think I'm interested. Like ultimately, obviously, we're talking about whey protein today. The show is called The Wonders of Whey Protein. I was not terribly interested because I've not had a good history with whey protein powder, but this one was so different that I became very interested and have started to recommend it then to my clients. So in full disclosure, people should know that I am completely aware of this product. I love this product, and it is the only one that I'm able and willing to use. So full disclosure there. Let's go back to the beginning because, again, you have a very interesting history. Like so many of us, what brought you around to your passion in life was the need to help yourself. And I get that. I get that. I totally get that. That's how I sort of landed in fitness. I needed to help myself. But it's ironic to me, I think it's probably ironic to a lot of people that your means back to health turned out to be a protein. But so just to go back in the story and just to get the foundation, because you are a nutritional consultant and you have so much information, can you explain to us, generally, what role does protein play in our bodies nutritionally, for our health, for our repair, etc.?
Okay, so backing it up a little bit further, we know that 22 different amino acids, 20 to 22 amino acids make up all the amino acids that become all the other metabolites of amino acids and or proteins. And those 20 amino acids end up having to be in the diet in sufficient amounts for the body to be able to go, oh, okay, we're going to use this to create new tissue in the body. So these building blocks for proteins have to occur in certain quantities and in certain ratios for the body to be able to use them as building blocks. If they're not there in sufficient quantities and ratios, then the body's going to say, well, now we're just going to convert them into glucose and burn them up as sugar and not use them as tissue repair building blocks. So the quantity and quality and ratio of amino acids, or the quantity and quality of protein, is really, really important and a very debatable subject because a lot of people on different sides of the fence of how much protein.
I want to point out what you just said because this is important. I don't want to speed over it. The quantity of amino acids, the ratio of amino acids, and then the quality of them. So
the quantity would be that in blood tests that are done, there's supposed to be a certain amount of circulating free amino acids in the blood at all times to fuel your neurotransmitter levels, to trigger all kinds of reactions going on in the body. Because of the level of stress people are under in our day and age, with the level of free radical damage, the level of electromagnetic pollution, the level of bad diet and oxidative chemicals from their diet that are creating free radicals, all these things cause such a rapid amount of turnover for the body's needs for creating antioxidants and the body's needs for tissue repair for the inflammation of these various stressors, that the body is eating up and using up amino acids faster than it can get at them from normal dietary protein sources based on blood tests, okay? So the body body tends to run deficient in these amino acids throughout the day in most people in our current Western civilization. So that's the rate at which they're available is one thing. That is where, we'll get into the way and the availability or rate at which it's available to the body. The other thing is the quality of the protein. So amino acids are building blocks. They have a specific shape, a specific geometry, and when that shape is retained, is the shape that nature gives them. If that shape is retained as it's in the body, the way that nature gave it, imparted it to it, then the body will be able to use it. If that shape is lost through the cooking process, which is what happens, then the body can't use it. So there's called denatured amino acids, which is an amino acid that's undergone a shape change due to, radiation or heating that's changed the shape of the amino acid, makes it denatured. If it's retained the shape that nature gave it, it's called non-denatured. So if you could get a bunch of non-denatured amino acids into the body, your body ends up being able to use 100% of what you just gave it and ends up having a whole lot of tissue repair occur, a whole lot of energy, youth, cheerful disposition, elimination of inflammation, supporting healing of all kinds of things in the body, whether they're from working out or whether it's an injury or whatever. So, and then the ratio of amino acids, that's what you're dealing with. If you ate a vegetarian protein source, like people say, well, if you combine grains and legumes, it's called a complete protein. But what they don't realize is that the grains and legumes are cellulose-based proteins, which means that the cellulose is a type of a carbohydrate that's so dense and compact that we don't have the ability to digest it, which is why it's a good fiber to just basically carry things through the intestines. It's an indigestible carbohydrate, and we don't have cellulase, the enzyme to digest cellulose, so we don't free up amino acids from vegetarian sources fast enough to keep the body into this optimal positive nitrogen balance where the blood has enough amino acids.
Well, also, can I interrupt and say something? Yeah. I'm not a vegetarian. I sort of tried to go that route in the early 90s. I've never been so unhealthy in my life. It did not work for me. I've talked about this before on the show. It just didn't work for my body. But also what scares me about it is, don't you have to, it's not just, combine beans and grains. It's not that. Isn't it a certain amount of beans and a certain amount of grains? Like, you have to know what you're doing, correct?
Well, in some respects, yeah. Like if you ate 10% legumes and 10% and 90% grains, that wouldn't be sufficient. You'd have to have probably more like a 50-50 mix to get that amino acid balance. But even then, you're still not going to get the amino acids fast enough into the bloodstream to make a significant difference. So you're going to be tending to become depleted and then steal the energy from your glands. So this is what I've seen in people that are vegetarian over the years. They tend to lose their glandular integrity at a young age, and they go gray-haired very quickly. So animal proteins end up being the only real reliable source of a complete amino acid source, in that all 8 to 10 essential amino acids are there, and they're there in ratios that enable the body to actually get the effect of being able to create new tissue proteins as opposed to just converting them into sugar.
Now, and you said proteins are made up of 20 to 22 different amino acids?
Yeah, there's just people contend differently on that, but basically there's 20 amino acids from which all proteins are made, whether it's hair protein, liver protein, pancreas protein, skin protein, yeah. So those three things we just talked about, you've got the quantity, the quality, and the ratios. So the quantity is provided for in animal protein sources. It's just that when you take an egg and you cook it, or you take a pork chop and cook it, or a steak and you cook it, you lose 50 to 75% of the amino acids from the cooking process. They become bent and twisted and unusable, and you only get 50 to 25% of those amino acids to be used. The others end up having to be filtered out of the body through the liver and kidneys and through exhalation of ammonia. So what you end up with is a lot of work on the part of your body and not as much gain as you put in many instances, unless you're really young and you're still really efficient at your digestion. But if you're trying to maximize your gains, then you want to be sure you're putting the most usable quantity and types of amino acids into the body in favor of the most damaged. So that's why I tell people, I prefer like rare food or rare cooked chicken, fish, beef, whatever, as opposed to well done.
Right, because and here's the issue. I prefer my food as well done as possible because I get skeeved out if something is, and I hear what you're saying. So you're saying the less cooked it is, as long as it's cooked to specification where it's going to be healthy. I mean, you don't want to eat something where it's going to make you sick. But the less cooked it is beyond the point of being safe, the less you are denaturing, or the word we should be destroying, the amino acid building blocks of the protein.
Right, and also just the temperature range, too. The lower the temperature you cook it at, lower and a longer period of time is better than higher, shorter period of time.
Okay.
So then you come to basically your diet. You can clean up your diet a lot and put a lot less stress on your liver and kidneys if you cook your stuff at lower temperatures, which is why steaming and boiling is superior to dry heat cooking.
But wait, let's go back to the original question. What role does protein play in our body? If you had to put that into a very simple answer, it's to repair and rebuild.
To repair and rebuild, yeah, and to take care of detoxification, to take care of antioxidants, neurotransmitters, blood sugar regulation. Basically, every single metabolic function requires protein or amino acid chemistry, yes.
Okay, so when you're dealing with a vegetarian client, because I have vegetarian clients, and I can't, you know, people who are vegetarian have philosophical reasons, health reasons. They have reasons that they want to be a vegetarian. What do you say?
I tell them that the only people who are healthy vegetarians in that vein are the people who've spiritually reached a level of evolvement that enables their consciousness to affect the food in such a way that they absorb all the good, because the power of their consciousness is affecting the food to affect them in a positive way. So that if they're not there yet in their level of consciousness to be able to do that, that they still will be subject to the laws of nature, and there'll be a net minus to their health from staying on this merely for philosophical purposes. I try and broaden their understanding that, you know, their spirituality doesn't have to do with their being vegetarian or not being vegetarians, because there's been plenty of masters in the Far East and elsewhere that have demonstrated eating meat and all kinds of stuff, and they don't lose their spiritualization and their loving nature.
No, I know, but a lot of people are vegetarian because they love animals. They don't want to eat animals. I mean, I know people that, you know, they don't want to eat.
Yeah, and they just say, well, but at the same time that all life is here. Mm-hmm. All the animals and plants are here with an understanding that the human being is the highest expression of God's divinity in this particular three-dimensional school, and that they know they're here to serve us. But
what I'm saying is I never try to change my clients. My job isn't to convert vegetarians. No. Like, that isn't my thing.
But you said, what would I say to them if they were asking me that question? Well, I would be saying these things. If they don't want to know, I don't offer. But I'm just saying, if they're wanting to get some freedom around, they're feeling stressed because they're on the fence about the subject, and they want to have some input about a different point of view that might give them freedom around eating meats or animal products, I would then go along the line of thinking I was just expressing.
Well, also, when we get along to talking about the product that we're talking about today, our whey protein, I'm wondering if it would be cool for vegetarians to... I think vegans are those that abstain from all animal products. I would assume that a vegetarian could eat whey protein powder. No? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay,
I mean, you're right. There's just differences of whatever. But yeah, the person who's saying, you know what, I won't take the life of an animal. How can I sustain my body in a healthy manner without doing that? I'd say, yeah, the whey protein is going to be invaluable to you. You will feel 1,000% better for keeping it in your diet.
Okay, got it. Because again, I don't want to jump ahead, but again, I don't like to proselytize and try to change anybody's way of eating. If that's in fact what they've chosen. What about this is a question I get. Don't people get enough protein in their diet from eggs and fish and chicken and red meats and just general things that we eat?
They do, in the sense of that they're getting the right quantity. It's just that the quality has been damaged, so they're not actually utilizing a lot of it. So they're overworking their liver and kidneys in the process of trying to just excrete the unusable portions. So they end up becoming in this negative nitrogen balance, and they end up dealing with, because a lot of it's cooked, they end up having a lot of it build up in the connective tissue. Ancient cultures would always, in their spiritual and religious focuses, would usually fast a minimum one day a month, just to allow their body time to catch up on the detoxification of what cooked foods do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest a person who wants to stick to foods 100% and not be too into supplements to realize they should take time to fast for 24 to 48 hours on water and things like vegetable juice to enable their body to catch up with some detox, so that all those built up unusable amino acids and fatty acids and things that from cooking that build up in the tissues get to be excreted, so that their bodies stay clean and they stay free of the colds and the flus and the whatever. But taking the whey protein ends up in our modern day era being really, really helpful, because, like I said, the rate at which we need to detoxify to stay healthy is much, much higher than it was mere 40 years ago.
Right, because there's so much coming at us. Exactly.
Yeah, there is. There's just a lot of stuff coming at us atmospherically that people don't have any control over. And if they want to be in that vibrant, happy, cheerful, energetic state, they're going to need to be able to be ahead of that game, and that means they need to be able to produce the glutathione at a faster rate. And the whey protein ends up being nature's number one food and number one substance in nature and in supplementation that's able to raise glutathione so significantly and support that detox process as well as reducing inflammation.
You just gave a word that you need to define to everybody, glutathione.
So glutathione is is a substance, it's a protein within our tissues that our body's supposed to produce in every single cell. So you have 75 trillion cells approximately that make up the human body, and every single cell, from your eye to your tongue to your pinky, you have to produce 10% of the protein content of each cell as glutathione if you're to be in a vitally healthy state.
Say that one more time slowly. Say that one more time. You have to produce...
You have to produce 10% of the protein content of every single cell of your body is optimally supposed to be glutathione. Now, if you think about that, that is a huge amount of the actual protein content of your whole body. And because of toxicity and because of aging, people are not producing the quantities optimally. Their cells are not detoxifying. They're not neutralizing free radicals. And hence you have the lethargy, the couch potato, the depression, the lack of motivation, the whatever that results as a result of their chemistry being bad, unhealthy, inflamed, and toxic. When you take whey protein, our whey protein, One World Whey, you're feeding your body a protein that is uniquely nature's richest source of a sulfur amino acid called cysteine, and that is the building block, or you could say that is the one amino acid that is deficient in the cells that is needed to combine with two other amino acids called glutamic acid and glycine. Those two amino acids, glutamic acid and glycine, are abundant in the diet. They're abundant in the cells at all times. The one that's missing is the sulfur amino acid. So when you take our whey protein, you get that in rich enough amounts that you fuel and feed all the cells of your body to turn back on their optimal glutathione production. And also the body needs selenium as a trace mineral to be able to make the enzyme to create this combination, to take these three amino acids that are inside the cell and bring them together into a triple, it's called a peptide or a tripeptide.
Okay, I want to back up because this is getting confusing for just regular folks. So basically, I just want to back up because what you said before was very important. When I asked, don't people get enough protein in their diet from eggs, fish, chicken, red meats, etc., you said quantity yes, quality no. And then you continue to say that because of the way we cook it, the protein, the molecules, the amino acids become damaged. So we're not getting 100% benefit from what we're putting in our mouths. So the quality is off. So let me just quickly back up and ask you this. What amount of protein do we really need in the diet?
For you, probably like a bodybuilder, my educated opinion, it's about 1 gram per pound of body weight to maintain that positive nitrogen balance and the repair of your whole body from the standpoint of wanting to grow or maintain a strong musculature frame. Other people could be 60 grams on up to 100 grams. It kind of depends upon their size, their level of activity. So there's no one set amount. Blood types. Blood typing is another part of diet or nutrition that's valid and valuable for people to investigate, which can determine to some degree the quantity of protein in their diet. So O blood types tend to need a lot of protein compared to B and AB blood types.
But for people that are listening that don't know their blood type and they're thinking, okay, I weigh this much, I'm fairly active. Basically, I've always believed people like me need 1 to 1.5 almost. Yeah, per pound of body weight.
Yeah, that's true for you. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah, but then you've got the average person who exercises a little, moves around a little, but basically works at a desk. I mean, so basically, how can we help people understand?
I'd say probably the average thing for that would be probably 60 to 100 grams a day for that type of a person.
Just an average person.
An average person, yeah.
60 to 100 grams a day. Because, in some circles, different circles believe that different amounts of protein are needed. I'm one that tends to err toward more simply because I see what lack of it does in my body.
Yep.
So basically you want to go on your body weight and your
body weight. Yep.
Body weight, general level of activity. The more active you are, the more protein you need.
Yep. And also, ailments and injuries and things like that increase your protein needs. So if a person's like been injured, and they're going to need more protein for a while to support the healing process. And
what about muscular dystrophy, myasthenia gravis, things like that? Have you never heard that neuromuscular diseases do better on a high protein diet?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have enough expertise to answer on that. I would say that they're probably individually you want to take that on a case-by-case basis, because sometimes the liver needs to be so supported, introducing more protein into the diet. So it's sort of like I sometimes, a person with, like, say, cancer, a person with cancer can be so congested and so inflamed in their liver that I don't want to give them a lot of protein at that point. I want them to be lighter on the protein, other than the whey protein, which would be tolerable by the liver. But cooked proteins, I need to be very careful
about. I'm talking about muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, myasthenia gravis,
Yeah, if there's no liver congestion going on, they can eat generous amounts of it, yeah.
Okay, and again, so one would look at one's weight, one's level of activity, and it can go anywhere from 0.5 gram per pound of body weight up to 1.5 grams. Is that what we're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to come back, you guys. We're going to come back with Stephen Hoyer. He's a nutritional consultant. The show today is called The Wonders of Whey Protein. And, Stephen, when we come back, I want to talk more about the whey protein and why this one is specifically so special. You guys stay with us.
Train your brain and change your body. Get fit and healthy for life. For over 25 years, Tara Marie Segundo's worked in the fitness industry, and Tara Marie's available for personal consultations by phone. She'll help you build a fitness strategy, design a routine, get past those mental blocks and bad habits, all to get you fit and healthy for life. Put a stop to disordered eating. Tara Marie can help. Have an injury? No problem. Tara Marie can design an exclusive exercise program just for you. What are you waiting for? Get on track and stay on track. And if you're in New York City and want individualized or group personal training, Tara Marie can come to you. So in person or by phone, call Tara Marie now at 877-692-6221. That's 877-692-6221. Or visit TaraMarie.com today. That's TaraMarie.com. TaraMarie.com.
I'm Marie Osmond. Choices. Some are minor, others life-changing. But what if your small choices matter the most, like the stairs or the elevator, baked or fried? What if these small choices determine if you'll be the 1 out of every 3 women who die of heart disease this year? These choices might not seem life-changing today, but women are dying of heart disease at the rate of almost 1 per minute. Luckily, it's mostly preventable. Choose to act. Our hearts, our choice. Make your choice at GoRedForWomen.org.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now, this same technology is available to you. They have the best earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. Earthchannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things, like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget, web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now, so come to earthchannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 800-849-8978. That's 800-849-8978. A better world begins with you. Find out how on healthylife.net.
Tara Marie, beauty, brains, and biceps.
Hey, welcome back. This is Tara Marie Segundo, and you're listening to Tara Marie Live. Today's show is The Wonders of Whey Protein, and we have nutritional consultant Stephen Hoyer with us, and he is like an encyclopedia of knowledge about protein. And Stephen, I said at the top of the show, this is a question I get asked about this macronutrient more than probably any, carb, protein, fat. This is the one I get asked the most about. And again, just to close what we said at the first part of the show, if you're wondering more or less roughly your protein needs, if you're sedentary, it's about a half a gram per pound of body weight. If you're an average person, an average Joe, it's about a gram per pound of body weight. And if you're somebody like me who's looking to build and maintain muscle, highly active, on that end of the spectrum, it's more like 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. And of course, you pointed out the interesting fact that people probably don't think about a lot. It's not just the quantity, it's the quality, because the quality determines how much your body actually takes in, absorbs, and utilizes. So this leads me to a very important question, and this is really why I had you on today. What one protein in nature can you use that's both unheated, so it's not denatured, and it's complete in all the amino acids, so that we get the whole benefit, from the food, and also, it tastes good and it's easy to digest?
That would be this particular product, which we did speak of already, called One World Whey. This product, One World Whey, is a product I was introduced to by the inventor 2 years ago. And what it is, and I, like you, when I was introduced to this product via the phone, sent samples in the mail, I was not emotionally and mentally engaged or excited at the prospect of taking it, because in the past whey protein's never done anything positive for me. And
whey protein always gave me gas.
Yeah, well, it just tended to constipate me, so I wasn't too excited about taking this stuff. So when I took it, it was so positive in its effect on my body that I asked this particular inventor about this product, and I said, what have you done? This is pretty profound. And he says, well, we started with some very good raw milk, and I have a proprietary process I've been working on for many years to basically cold process this from start to finish. And so he doesn't divulge the details technologically to me because of the proprietary nature of what he's doing, but in short, it is the first ever whey protein to come to the market that's won from extremely healthy Jersey grass-fed cows that are never given hormones, antibiotics, chemical fertilizers, or anything like that.
When you say Jersey, are we talking New Jersey? What are you talking?
It's a breed of cow. It's a brown cow that's got the really lovely looking. It's like a very loving animal because it's big brown eyes, but it's called a Jersey breed. Okay. And that's the preferred breed to use. One of the preferred breeds because it's genetically an A2 cow, which is preferable. Anyways, the milk is taken, and it's never. He doesn't make cheese to remove the casein, which is a fermentation process that leaves lactic acid in the whey. We don't do that. We actually separate the casein from the milk so that this fresh liquid whey is left in an unfermented state. There's no excess lactic acid in it. Then it undergoes all these proprietary steps to remove most of the fat. All of the lactose is removed. All of the casein is removed, and only the whey protein is left.
Okay, now let me ask you this. You said all the lactose is removed. Is that why I was able to eat this? Is that why? Okay, so in other words, because I've had bad luck with whey protein powders in the past, this one is the only one I've been able to use. Why? So loud and clear, if you are lactose intolerant,
they will not have any problem with this product because there's no lactose in it. And same thing with casein. When people say, "Oh, I can't tolerate dairy products," well, because the casein usually, the casein's all been removed, so there's no casein in it. Okay. So the dominant allergen to dairy is casein. With just the whey, you end up with the portion of the milk that is the smallest protein, that is the most digestible. It's equated and similar to in size of proteins to that which is found in human mother's milk or goat's milk. So it's extremely digestible and tolerable to everyone, such that everybody with a dairy intolerance, just like you've expressed,
which is me, yeah,
has said that they can tolerate this product with. It's just phenomenal how well it works for them.
Yeah, I never once had a digestive issue with it. And again, when you sent it to me, I was like, yeah, I'll try it, whatever. But I wasn't expecting to like it. And I did, and I did like it. I really liked it, and I endorsed this product. I don't endorse a lot of stuff because if I won't use it myself, I'm not telling somebody else to use it, or I won't put my stamp on it. But I really like this, and one of the things I noticed, just as someone who was trying to build muscle, very rapidly, not changing the rest of my diet and not changing my workout routine, I put on lean tissue. Like people at the gym, guys at the gym were going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Like I was doing steroids or something, because it was that obvious so quickly. And
how much did you gain?
It was just about 3 pounds. But But when you're 5'4".
Oh, yeah.
I'm only 5'4". Think about how much 3 pounds is on a 5'4" body, and it's lean tissue. It's not fat swagging on my ass. You know what I'm saying? It was like my shoulders and my So, I mean, to me, 3 pounds is a lot for 5'4". But it was 3 pounds on the scale. But my pants stayed the same size. Like my waist measurement didn't change. My upper body just looked bigger, and my legs got more solid. But so for anybody, the reason I bring this up, though, for people with muscle wasting diseases is because I just believe that people that have muscle wasting diseases need to build, they need muscle like I need muscle, although I need it for aesthetic reasons. And that's why I was asking you about figures for people with, neuromuscular problems.
Well, yeah, the neuromuscular problems have always as components to them toxicity and inflammation. So when you take our non-denatured whey into the diet of that kind of a physiologically damaged person, then that can help to detoxify the tissues of whatever it is, the aluminum sulfate, the mercury, the lead, whatever, plus get rid of the inflammation so they can support the process of their body's ability to heal itself by doing that. So it would be totally good for them. As far as the other thing about the whey and its ability to help build muscle is that it is nature's richest source of 3 amino acids, which are what your muscles, 1/3 of your muscle is composed of 3 amino acids. It's called valine, leucine, and isoleucine, which I know you know this.
Yeah.
Those 3 amino acids are highest in whey over any other food in nature. And they've done other studies, and they found that the leucine in particular, when you get 8 to 16 grams of leucine in the diet per day, that it activates this particular mechanism in the body to turn on the ability to make even more muscle. So you get, in 3 scoops of One World Whey, you'll get 8 grams of leucine. And unlike any other whey protein powder, which, they're all heated, you denature a large percentage or damage a lot of that that's there. So you need probably 3 times or more the quantity of that just to get it from their product.
Right, now I want to go back to one thing, because this is something that this happened at my gym specifically with me. I was telling, and we can come back because we only have 1 minute here before we have to go to break, but I was telling one of the guys at my gym that noticed the physical change in me. He said, "What have you been doing?" And I explained it to him. And I said, "It's the only cold processed whey protein on the market." And he said, no. He said, "Mine's cold processed too." Now, so what I wanted you to talk about when we get back, because this is very critical. Many whey protein powders call themselves cold processed. The difference between you and them is that I believe what you told me once was yours is cold processed 100% from start to finish. They can get away legally with saying that they're cold processed because a portion of their processing is cold processed. I hope I said that right. When we come back, I want you to talk about it. But that's the caveat in the way they're allowed to advertise. And so we're going to come back on that thought. You guys stay with us, and we're going to be back with Stephen Hoyer.
Tara Marie Segundo is a sought-after fitness expert with over 25 years in the business. Tara Marie can help you lose weight, change bad habits, break through mental blocks, and design an exercise program for your busy life. On-site personal training is available in New York City, or schedule a phone consultation to answer all of your questions about reaching your fitness goals. Visit TaraMarie.com or call 877-692-6221. That's 877-692-6221. Or visit TaraMarie.com.
If you're in Southern California, you might want to consider HealthyLife.net radio for advertising. We have 18 hosts that have shows with loyal listeners just in Southern California. That means you get local advertising and the world for the same affordable price. With packages for every budget, you can't afford not to let that economic sun shine in for your business. Call now 1-800-555-5453. That's 1-800-555-5453.
If you're like the 8 out of 10 women that say finding jeans that fit is a problem, well, your problem is solved. Lee Jeans has done extensive research, and they have jeans that fit. There's even an online Lee Fit Finder so you can find the right fit for you. Imagine jeans that instantly slim you with a custom fit and no gap waistband. And guys, kids, Lee has jeans for you too. Click through to Lee's Jeans on the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and get what fits.
Train your brain and change your body. Get fit and healthy for life. For over 25 years, Tara Marie Segundo's worked in the fitness industry, and Tara Marie's available for personal consultations by phone. She'll help you build a fitness strategy, design a routine, get past those mental blocks and bad habits, all to get you fit and healthy for life. Put a stop to disordered eating. Tara Marie can help. Have an injury? No problem. Tara Marie can design an exclusive exercise program just for you. What are you waiting for? Get on track and stay on track. And if you're in New York City and want individualized or group personal training, Tara Marie can come to you. So in person or by phone, call Tara Marie now at 877-692-6221. That's 877-692-6221. Or visit TaraMarie.com today. That's TaraMarie.com. TaraMarie.com.
Music, information, and friends. HealthyLife.net.
Tara Marie. Beauty, brains, and biceps.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tara Marie Live. We have experienced some technical difficulties, so please pardon our absence. But we're back for a final segment with Stephen Hoyer. Now, Stephen, just before we went to break, I wanted you to defend the One World Whey brand's cold processing versus these other brands that say they're cold processed.
One of the things that I found out when I was introduced to this product was that all these other products on the market say cold processed, and when I called up the companies to substantiate that claim, I asked them, has your product ever been heated? Just about every single company that you can name on the market, I've asked them, and every single one of them said, well, it has to undergo a heat sterilization process before we take the whey and filter it. Once you finish extracting the whey out of the milk, you then can filter it and remove the fat, the lactose, and anything else you want to remove. Sometimes they make isolates and they remove other proteins. So before they filter it, they still heat it, they still damage it, they still pasteurize it, so that they cook it at 161 degrees for 17 seconds, or they'll cook it the other way, which is 145 degrees for 30 minutes. Either way, it has destroyed a large percentage of what nature put there. It's destroyed many of the enzymes, much of the proteins, it's denatured much of the amino acids. So now you no longer have the product that nature created, and thus the results of what people achieved with fresh raw whey back in Europe. They used to have spas, and people went there and got well from all their illnesses drinking fresh raw whey. Those kinds of results stopped happening once you turned whey protein into a powder because they heated it. With our product,
I have a question. Weren't they heating it, though, you said, to sterilize it?
Yes. So they're heating it to sterilize it. It's just that you don't have to. We've achieved, the inventor of our product has achieved sterilization. That is to say, elimination of the microorganisms required by law. We have achieved that without heat. So from start to finish, the product was never heated. Unlike all the other ones on the market, they are all heated, they're all destroyed, they're all denatured, irregardless of all the advertising, irregardless of all the hype and how pretty the labels are, which is why people do not get good results from those products.
So let me drill this down. The reason legally that they can say that they are cold processed whey protein powders is because they are, but they neglect to mention that before the processing of the whey, they heat the product to sterilize it. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, well, basically, to say something is cold processed when it was first cooked, to me, is still a lie. So it's like, okay, you can cook your egg, and then you can separate the yolk from the egg, and then you can take the yolk and process it further without adding any heat to these other processing steps, but you still cooked the yolk. So it's really foolish doublespeak that's just ridiculous in terms of being authentic and integrity about what you've done to the product. So that's why people don't get these results with whey protein powders, even if they're cold processed. So what I'm saying is that, yes, they first heat it, then they remove the whey, and when the whey is outside of their milk product, they filter it and do all these things to it without adding any heat to the filtration step. It's technically called cold filtered whey. They remove the word filtered and they call it cold processed whey. Well, I'm sorry, you should say cold filtered process so people still know you heated this stuff before, but they don't always do that because they want you to believe it was never damaged with heat.
Okay, got it. So that's what sets One World Whey apart, is that it was never, and so the sterilization process that you guys use does not include heat. You probably can't describe it because that would be going in a direction that I wouldn't even understand.
Right.
You guys have a patented sterilization process that does not involve heating the product in any part of the process.
Exactly. It's not patented. It's a proprietary secret. You can't patent these things. So basically it's kept proprietary, but we've sterilized it without using any heat, and thus we've retained all the amino acids in the shape that nature gave them so that when your body breaks down all those proteins and all those you get all those amino acids, you use them 100%. There's no damaged amino acids. Your liver and kidneys have to work overtime to filter out, so you get 100% utilization of the proteins, and you get the immunoglobulin benefits. I mean, there's all these benefits to the proteins too, like lactokinin is therapeutically helpful for healthy blood pressure. There's lactoferrin, which is extremely healthy to support, well, this is another subject, but studies show that basically you can reduce abdominal body fat by just consuming lactoferrin. Well, lactoferrin is naturally occurring in whey protein if it's, and of course, again, it's going to get more effective if it's non-denatured or damaged by heat.
Okay, so in other words, the lactoferrin content goes down when it's heated. So by using One World Whey protein, the lactoferrin content is maximized. So basically what you're saying is, because the amino acid blocks are not destroyed or denatured in any way from start to finish, every molecule that you're putting in your mouth is providing you with nutrition and quality. That's probably why I got results as fast as I did. I mean, I'm talking, when I say results, I'm saying in 3 weeks' time. I mean, literally 3 weeks. Do you understand? Yeah. Less than a month. Because you just sent it to me. Okay, so basically, the argument is that it's not what you're putting in your mouth, it's the quality of what you're putting in your mouth and what your body's actually doing with it. Now, I want to talk about price point. I'm going to give you a link where you can go and look at all this information. The interesting thing about your price point is sort of smack in the middle. You're not the cheapest, for sure, but you're not the most expensive. But what I will say is this. I'd rather pay, this is why I like it, this is why I recommend it to people. I would rather pay a medium range price point and not have to use so much of it to get the same result. I feel like I'm saving money that way. And again, you're not the cheapest. You're absolutely not the cheapest. And what you do in full disclosure is on your site, you put the price point of a bunch of your competitors, and you'll see that you fall smack in the middle range.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically the other thing too is that when you consider that if you're taking a whey protein powder from anybody else and it's denatured by 1/3 or some percentage, then 1/3 of your dollars being thrown away, you have to use a third more to get the same usable quantity, plus you're burdening your liver and kidney with work that's going to make them stressed and fatigue you. And when you study physiology and you see that, well, if you've got circulating proteins in your blood in excess of your body's ability to utilize it, well, that can cause blood clumping and lower your oxygen carrying capacity. So all of a sudden, rather than having energy to work out, you don't. I mean, it's just like gasoline. If it's super high octane stuff, you're going to get very little exhaust and a whole lot of combustion, a whole lot of explosion and power in your motor, compared to very low octane stuff, which is going to produce more exhaust, less power, less combustion.
And you also talk about you and I discussed the results that some people have reported from using the non-denatured whey and One World Whey. And you talk to me about the elimination of inflammation and pain caused by it. I want you to say a quick word about that because I have some clients that suffer with a lot of inflammation and a lot of chronic pain.
Okay, well, we've had customers now over the last 2 years that have used this, and they'll call back and voluntarily say, well, gosh, I got rid of all my inflammation. So, yeah, I've had one guy say he had 89-year-old parents who were both, one of them had arthritis, and the arthritis was gone, and all the pain in his joints was gone in 2 months, after 2.5 months on our whey protein. Basically, again, it's that thing called producing the glutathione from taking the whey. Glutathione is a natural antioxidant and naturally neutralizes free radicals, which are one of the primary causes of inflammation. So if you can eliminate some of the inflammation or eliminate some of the free radicals, you can help protect from and stop inflammation in the body. So the natural consequence of producing more glutathione is to get rid of inflammation or reduce inflammation and the corresponding pain that it's causing. Very simple.
And how, again, does the One World Whey specifically raise glutathione because it's providing the body? Is it with the non-destroyed, with the non-denatured molecule?
It's providing the body. Well, you could take things like N-acetylcysteine, which is a singular amino acid, and support raising glutathione. But in my experience, it has done nothing compared to the results of generating the detox and the anti-inflammatory effects we've gotten on One World Whey. That the One World Whey surpasses anything on the market. Simply because I think it's because when you've got all the amino acids there, your body goes into a full positive nitrogen balance, and it can use the cysteine to make the glutathione in abundance, whereas just taking a pill of cysteine, your body will convert a lot of it into glucose and not use it all for making glutathione.
All right, I want to say this. We got to wrap the show. This is the only whey protein that I take. This is the only whey protein I can take because it's the only one I can digest. I don't endorse products very often, but I have, I do endorse this product. I do really like this product, and it's the only one I do recommend. If you want more information about this product or you want to order this product, go to my website. Actually, if you go to my website, www.taramarie.com, right on the home page, sort of mid-page, there's a banner for One World Whey. If you're on my mailing list, there's also a banner on my newsletter. I just sent out a newsletter yesterday. There's a banner on my newsletter. There's a banner on my blog. Even on my archive page here at healthylife.net, there's a banner. Click on that banner. Read up about it. You decide for yourself. Read up on it. And if you want to try a whey protein powder, try this one. You will digest it easily. You will see the effects. And email me and let me know how you like it, and I'll pass the information along to Stephen. I mean, I want to give people, I want to introduce people to products that I believe in. All right, we've got to wrap the show. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Go to the banner on taramarie.com for One World Whey, or again on my archive page. And Stephen Moyer, thank you so much, dear.
Thank you, Tara Marie.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone, and I'll be back next week.